Today I'm remaking one of my favorite recipes, but with some new steps I've learned since our last video. To start, we need to make some lemon dill rice. The first thing to prepare is the dill. Pull all the little strands off of the stems. Then we'll finely dice those up. You can also use dry dill, but you'll need about 2 tablespoons worth if you do that. Next, we'll bring in 2 cups of washed basmati rice, half a cup of lemon juice. Then we'll add about 1.5 cups of water, 1 tablespoon of butter, and our dill. Whisk it up a bit so the dill is all over the place. Then we'll turn the rice cooker on and prep everything else. Next up is our tahini sauce. We're going to pour 3 cups of tahini into a mixing bowl along with 3.5 tablespoons of lemon juice, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 3/4 cup of heavy cream. Then we'll whisk that all up until everything is incorporated. Now, as you can see, this isn't quite a sauce. At this point, it's a lot more of a dip, but we can fix that with some water. You're looking for this to be a very loose sauce that we can easily drizzle. Once that's nice and loose, we'll give it a taste and adjust our seasonings. For me, I needed more garlic powder, which was about half a teaspoon of coarse salt, and around 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. I've also accounted for the extra seasonings up until now, so if you followed those, you'll have the same sauce that I do at this point, but you'll need to add that half a teaspoon salt. Once that's tasting how you like, we'll cover it and stick it in the fridge. Now we gotta prep a couple of our toppings. We're gonna start with the onions. This is simply cut in half and then cut it into thin slices. We're going to caramelize those in some butter later so they don't need to be finely diced. I don't want to be too bold here, but I think caramelized onions may be my favorite topping for the whole dish. Next, we'll prep the cukes. I quartered mine because it's pretty fast and they come out to a good size for mixing into a rice bowl. Once those are done, we'll put them in a covered bowl and set them in the fridge. Finally, we'll prep the gyro. If you'd like to pick these up, we're currently running a sale at midamarhalal.com for gyro, so if you'd like to try these, now's the best time. You can find that linked in the description below. I prefer my gyro to be in strips, but you can chop this down a little bit more if you want tiny little bites. We'll toss those gyro strips in a pan and fry those up until they got a nice crust going. I learned this recipe from my time at my cousin's gyro shop. She made this for me and my brother once and we were hooked. From that day on, I'd make all kinds of versions of this with different topping combos and different amounts. So you can really trust that we have done a lot of research here. Also, if you made it this far into the vid, give us a like and a subscribe. It really helps more people see our videos. We'll take those out with a slotted spoon and leave the drippings in the pan. Now we'll add 1 tablespoon of butter to our drippings and get that melted down. Now we'll toss in the onions. Mix those up so the butter and drippings are covering all of our onions, and then we'll cook those down until they're nice and golden. This took me about 20 minutes or so to get to that nice golden look I was going for. After many bowls, I've found that my favorite way to make a gyro bowl is to start with a base of dill rice, add around a handful of cukes, sprinkle on a tasteful amount of feta, top it with our gyro meat, add some Kalamata olives, or a lot if you're like me and love them, maybe a little more feta if you're feeling it. Then we'll finish it with enough of our tahini sauce to help add some moisture to the dish. And that's it. This is one of my all-time favorite dishes, and I hope you like it as much as I do. And we'll see you next week with another delicious halal recipe.